to Inside the Film Room. I'm Kristen Ergo alongside head football coach Will Healy. Coach, your team came out and fought Thursday for 60 minutes. What are your thoughts now after watching the film?
Well, really proud of them. You know, I thought we had a chance to win the football game, which is frustrating, and that we had chances. You know, you're down 6 points and you got a chance to drive the field and go take the thing from them. And we've got to learn and take the next step from being competitive to putting the foot on the throttle a little bit more and going to steal one of those victories. But I thought we fought hard. Fun to see some young, new guys put in some really competitive situations and see them respond. I think we've made tremendous improvements on all three aspects: offense, defense, special teams. You know, to me, the penalties, the turnovers, those are things we got to correct. We gave our defense a short field at some times and made life difficult on them, but some really good individual accolades by those guys, and I thought, for the most part, there were a lot of positives we can take forward to next week.
Defensively, let's brag on them. They held the Bearcats to 100 yards, or actually under 100 yards rushing. Talk about the progression you've seen. Finally, on Thursday, the rest of the world has been able to see what you saw in fall camp.
Yeah, I've been really confident in what the next step would be for our defense. I thought that our defense would make the same steps that our offense had made a year ago, and I think that proved in one game, it's just one game, but that we're very capable of being able to do that. So I think we're a lot more talented on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, you saw those guys inside, Theron Hodges and Jewel Pace and Corey Brown, and you know, that adding more weight. You know, when you're 300 pounds in there versus 205 pounds, it makes it a little bit harder to move. Still think we got to rush the passer a little bit better, get some more pressure on the quarterback. You saw Malik Davis and Cordell Jackson, I thought, played extremely well. Him being a freshman, thrown into that environment, thought he performed extremely well. So I think we got good athletes on that side of the ball, and we got to continue to progress as the season moves forward. If we do, then we'll be a really good defense.
In my post-game interview with you, we talked about the 10 new players that started, but talk about some of your veterans. A couple of guys on defense that kind of stood out to you, Malik Boynton and Gunnar Shalato. Those guys, how have they helped those new guys come along defensively? I
think they, you know, especially Gunnar and Malik, have really good understanding of what we want to do on defense. So they've been able to communicate effectively, get us lined up. Obviously, Gunnar's in a position where he's going to make a lot of plays for us. Malik's kind of the backbone of our secondary. So those two guys have been through the ringer a little bit. They understand what's going to be thrown at them. They're not surprised by anything that an offense can do. And they play really hard. So those two guys are extremely important to us on the defensive side of the ball.
Let's talk quarterbacks. You have two of them that played, Javon Craig, Jeremiah Oatsfall. They played in the game. You said in your post-game comments that it was your plan to go 15 to 20 snaps on Oatsfall. So will we see a two-quarterback system, or are we going to have to wait and find out on Saturday?
No, we plan on playing both of them again. And, you know, to me, it was not predicated on what they did, you know, and how the series ended. That was our plan. We needed to stick to it. We know both of them are capable of leading us into the end zone each and every play. If we didn't feel that way, then we wouldn't play them. We felt like Javon was our starting quarterback, and we wanted him to take the majority of the reps. We wanted Jeremiah to get in there 15 to 20 snaps, and it didn't matter what the end result was. So, you know, if that was the case, then Jeremiah would have never gotten a snap, because Javon scores and then we put Jeremiah in. Then Jeremiah scores and we put Javon back in. That was our plan. We wanted to stick with it. We didn't want any surprises, especially for two young quarterbacks, and it was up to our communication before the game, and we reiterated that point to them. They both handled it really well.
Let's talk offensively as far as rushing. The fifth straight game now, 200 yards rushing or more. A lot of guys got touches. Did anyone stand out to you as you've looked at the film now?
Kentel Williams is a different back on game day, and you know, I thought with the ball in his hands on Thursday night, he was really good. He looks like he deserves to play at that level. Again, I think we're talented. We're four deep in that room. Trey Nation's coming along. Ahmad Tanner got some good touches, ran the ball really hard. Obviously, we know Prince is the glue, and what he does is always very consistent. Quarterbacks played well. We got to continue to get the ball in James Coleman's hands. He's dynamic with the ball in his hands. Our perimeter blocking needs to improve on the offensive side of the ball at the receiver position, but You saw, big catch guy by Garel Samari, and able to get D'Angelo Wilson some reps in there. Big catch by DJ Kadeem looked good. So offensively, I think we've got the weapons there, but the sky's the limit. I think we can be dynamic on offense and not just a little bit inconsistent and show glimpses like we did Thursday. And then defensively, if we shore up our tackling. We gave up too many, yards after contact on Thursday, and we got to make sure when we have chances to get guys on the ground, we do it. When we did it, we were really successful. When we didn't, we gave up 15, 20-yard chunks. We can't do that.
All right, the best is yet to come. Coming up, it's the Fuse Fireworks Assistant Coach's Corner. We go one-on-one with Wes Satterfield. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's the Fuse Fireworks Assistant Coach's Corner. I'm alongside offensive coordinator Wes Satterfield. Coach, you got your start at some pretty big places. North Carolina, Ohio State. How does that experience help you now as a play caller?
Well, I got lucky early being around some really good coaches. Right out of college, I was a graduate assistant at North Carolina, and then on at Ohio State. Jim Tressel was the head coach at Ohio State, and Butch Davis was at North Carolina. So being around some people like that, just learning from some of the best that's been in college football, and kind of learning from them and developing your own type of style, taking from them things and then putting together your own personal philosophy, I think helped me at an early age.
The latter part of last season, your offense really got in a rhythm. In the last two games, you played FBS opponents. You have had a combined 481 yards on the ground. Talk about the progression of your offense.
Yeah, I think our offense has kind of gotten better and better, and then jailed towards the end of last year, and we're trying to look to build on that this season. I think our offensive line played together for a long time and kind of just got to know each other better. And then our running back room has developed, and we think we're going to be pretty successful running the football this year. And then our quarterbacks add another development element to the game with the quarterback run game with our dual threat guys back there.
Let's talk quarterbacks. You have two. Talk about the depth at that position and what you like so far.
Well, Javon ended the season as a starter last year, and he had a pretty good end to the season. He's done really well, and he had a great offseason and kind of took the team under his wing a little bit, and they kind of followed him. And then Jeremiah Oatsfall was a kid we recruited very highly from Brentwood Academy. He's come in and had a great camp, and I think both of those guys are doing great things and can go back and forth and do different things and make the defense prepare for a couple of different dimensions.
Now, I asked this question of Coach West last week. I'm going to ask you the same. What do you want your offense to be known for?
Well, I want our guys to be fast, very well coached. We want to be physical. We want to establish the run game with a bunch of different motions and shifts, trying to keep the defense off guard as much as possible. We have a saying, make the same things look different and different things look the same, and then hopefully generate some explosive plays and play action passes off of that as well.
I have to ask you a personal question. You come from a lineage of coaches. Your dad and your grandfather at Trousdale High School. Your dad had 5 state titles in the state of Tennessee. What have you learned from him?
Well, I think the way that they went about the preparation that they did was top notch. They got the kids very prepared and them themselves. They worked very hard and pride themselves on being very well conditioned, very well schematically, and I think it benefited them over the course of their careers.
Has your dad been able to come see you, Coach?
Yeah, being closer now in Clarksville, we're about an hour away from Hartsville, so he makes it over here for most of the scrimmages, and he was at every game last year. He was at Cincinnati last week and plans on coming to Miami this week too.
That'll be a fun one. All right, next up, Bojangles Player Spotlight. This week it's Malik Boynton. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's the Bojangles Player Spotlight. I'm next to Malik Boynton, defensive back. The defense played very well on Thursday night, had multiple 3-and-outs. The Bearcats scores came on a short field. Talk to me a little bit about how the defense played.
I feel like we played really hard, so our mistakes didn't end up turning into big plays because of the hustle. We came into the game with a great defensive game plan. Coach Coop and Coach West, they the whole defensive staff sat in the room and broke down Cincinnati, and the game plan set us up to make plays.
Talk to me. You guys have watched the film, and what have they said? What have the coaches said about on Thursday night, how it went?
I mean, you never want to go out there and come up short. We played hard. We played good on defense. We can do better. We need to create more turnovers and set our offense up on the short field.
Now, personally, you came a long way from home when you chose Austin Peay, 550 miles to be exact. You're from Detroit. You came here. Now, they say teammates can become like family. Is that true?
Absolutely.
Is that
Absolutely.
true? I mean, are
Absolutely.
you guys like brothers?
Definitely. I mean, the entire defensive back group, we're super close. Like I consider those guys, definitely consider those guys family. The rest of the team, I'm an outgoing person, so I'm really close with a lot of the guys on the team, from O-line to specialists, everybody. I just like being around people and creating the chemistry and the bond with people.
Okay, so it has to be one of your favorite moments of your college career. You were chosen to go represent Austin Peay at the OVC Media Days. You guys were dressed pretty sharp. Was that fun? And what does it mean when Coach Healy chooses you to represent the university?
It was very fun. I mean, I take it as a big honor to represent the football team and Austin Peay. But I think Coach Healy picked us so we could teach him a little something about swag, I mean, in my opinion.
Guys are looking pretty good. Now, your team, you've earned the respect of your team. Mm-hmm. They voted you as captain.
Yes, ma'am.
What does it mean to be respected by your teammates?
I mean, like, I can't put it into words how much it meant to me to be voted as captain. Because, like, going out there and competing is one thing, but you always want to go out there and earn the respect of your opponent, that's just how it goes. And to know those guys respect me like that, I take that very, very, very seriously, and I really appreciate it.
Now, you inspire your fellow teammates. Who inspires you?
Oh, my father. My father definitely inspires me.
Why does he inspire you? What brought that situation where you look to him?
When my mom passed, I mean, he was our rock. We leaned on him. Times got tough. He lost his job. We were in a very unfortunate situation. And he just showed us he showed me and my little brothers and my sister how to bounce back.
How does that help you now?
It just, it instills you with like this feeling like times gonna get tough, but they don't last. You can always persevere and get through them.
All right, man, you're very inspiring. This has been a lot of fun. All right, coming up, we'll talk to Coach Healy. He talks Miami Redhawks. Stay with us. We're back on Inside the Film Room with Coach Will Healy. We just visited with Malik Boynton. When I say that name, what comes to mind?
Leader, competitive. He's a fighter. I think he's had to earn everything that he's ever gotten in life. When we got here, he was a guy that I felt like was kind of on the border and could have gone one of two ways. And now to see him be named the captain of our football team is pretty special.
Craig and Malik Boynton.
I think he's extremely genuine. He had some raw characteristics to him when we got here that I think are they're fun to be around, but he's really honest when he does it. But he's become, a big-time leader and almost the face of the change that's happened and the transformation that's happened in this program. So could not be more proud of him. He's why you do what you do. And to see a guy like him and how he's changed his life and his ways on a daily basis, he's consistent and he's a really good model for all of us, and just very lucky to have him and be around him on a daily basis.
Looking at Miami of Ohio, what can you expect from them on Saturday?
They're really good. In all aspects, I think that, they gave up a 97 and a 99-yard kickoff return that I'm sure they'll get fixed on special teams. They threw a pick six on offense, but it was the number one defense in the MAC last year, and they gave up 10 points to Marshall on Saturday and really gave the game away. I think they're the favorite to win the MAC. They're big, physical. Their quarterback is what everything goes through. He's a guy that I've known about for a long time out of Moeller High School in Cincinnati. Competitive, tough, throws the ball well, runs it well. They start off 0-6 last year without him. He comes back, they win 6 in a row. and then have Mississippi State dead to rights in the bowl game. They missed a 31-yard field goal to beat Mississippi State in the bowl game. So, Chuck Martin is a guy that inherited a situation that was very similar to ours. I think when he took the job there, they had a 16-game losing streak, and to see him in year 4 flip that program and be the favorites in the MAC he's done an exceptional job. Defensively, I hope one day people turn on film on our defense and say the same things that our staff has said about Miami of Ohio's defense. Very physical, run to the ball, play extremely hard. They're big, they're strong. It's a really, really good football team. And for us to have a shot, we're going to have to play really well. And we can't make the same mistakes that we made a week ago. We have to learn from those and then capitalize on a couple of their mistakes. So great football team, and it'll be a really big test for us on Saturday.
If you pull up a box score from your previous game, I'm going to brag on you guys a little bit, but statistically you dominated in a lot of categories. Does that give you confidence as you guys, for your team, going on the road again?
Yeah, I think it gives our guys confidence, but then again, I don't want the expectations to be so low where we take pride in being competitive. I want to make sure that our guys understand you were competitive, but you also gave away a shot to win the game and to make history on Thursday. So yes, do we have confidence? Absolutely. I had confidence going into that game that we would have a shot to win the game in the fourth quarter. But we can't let opportunities like that on a national level slip away. And if we have another shot this Saturday, then we got to take advantage of some of those and have the confidence in the end that we can go pull it off. And so some really good things. Obviously I think if as much as anything, people in our program and people around our community understand that we've made tremendous leaps since last year, but we're not comparing what we did to last year. Last year's not acceptable, and we got to go finish some of those games off and make a name for ourselves.
What's going to be key in having success against the Redhawks?
Can't turn the ball over. Time of possession is going to be huge. I think we've got to make sure that we've got to limit what they do in the pass game. They got a receiver, 81, the Gardner kid, that's a really good player. We got to know where the tight end is at all time. He's an NFL player. We got to make sure their quarterback is contained, because I think when he gets on the perimeter, he's dangerous. Contest throws a little bit more than what we did on defense and get some pressure on him. Offensively, I think we got to take some more shots. We've got to create some more big plays in the pass game. Obviously, having Tiny back this week will be very beneficial for us. And then I think we've got to make sure that we are better on first and second downs. Last week we were not very good on first down. We were, average 2nd and 9 and 3rd and 9, and you're putting yourself behind the chains, you're in trouble. So I thought we did a good job on special teams last week. We got to continue to do it, but we can't put our defense in the same situations that we had this past week. And we got to be ready for a physical four-quarter contest, because these guys are going to come bring it. They're going to be upset about what happened to them a week ago, and we need to match that intensity.
All right, kickoff is at 2:30 on Saturday. You can watch that on ESPN3. There'll be live tweets during and highlights on social media after the game at Let's Go Peay. Join us after the game for post-game coverage on Facebook at Let's Go Peay. Thank you for watching Inside the Film Room with Coach Will Healy. I'm Kristen Ergel. We'll see you next time.